Good morning guys, welcome to Lost Phoenix Gaming. Today, back on Forza Motorsport 7, having a look at the Forzathon challenges. As you may have seen, I did stream this content out live on Mixer on Friday night. First off, we have grey days. The rain never stopped us. Then there's warming the tyres, smoke on the asphalt, and setting times. Get your baseline performance. So I'll start off grey days, challenge 1. Complete 3 laps at Nürburgring in the rain. This is working towards the 1998 Scooby and Pretzer Forza edition. This should be very interesting. I've decided to go for the GP circuit, mainly because it's shorter. It might have been easier to go for the Nordschleife circuit, but that is a good 10 minutes per lap, so that's half an hour alone just on this one race. And at midnight I don't really fancy doing a half-hour race around the Nürburgring in the rain. Car-wise, you can see I've picked the Dodge Viper. I haven't drove a Viper in a while, it's a nice car. Not quite sure how it's going to handle, so making a start in the Viper, the SRT. As a general rule, I'm trying to take it a little bit easy because it is the Nürburgring, it is in the rain, so I'm likely to go off the track at any given time. I've put a couple of mods on, and these are the Ideal Conditions mod, which basically gives you extra credits for racing in the rain, so it's pretty much an easy win on that one. Taking it very slowly round here. All this was streamed live on Mixer on Friday night. I had one person pop in for about 10 minutes near the start, but then they left, got a little bit bored. I take it because it was because of me being useless around the rainy circuit. Well, there's two things in play on this one. Firstly, I sort of, against any sanity, decided that maybe midnight would be a good time to do the race, do the stream, and that's after all work's done, time spent with family, and everyone was in bed. So at the end of the day, when I'm falling asleep myself, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a live stream. But whoever it was came in, so I didn't have chat on or anything. Whoever came in, thank you very much for coming in, having a look. Trust me, it gets better. These wet track challenges are not good. Nürburgring, not good. And to top it off, I am actually driving this in near simulation mode. Totally missed the corner there, but never mind. I mean, near simulation mode. What I mean by that is ABS is off, traction control is off, stability control is off, and friction control is off. Why are they off, you ask? Because normally I drive with ABS on, stability, traction and friction on. Some may say I'm a bit of a noob for doing that, but I'm not a simulation racer, never have been. I'm more of an arcade sort of person, so I put them on, makes life easier. But the reason I turned them off was because this is not the original lineup for the challenges for this week. This challenge, Grey Days, was actually the third challenge. It's a 3-step challenge at the end. But why am I doing it first? The reason I'm doing it first is partly due to a mistake on my own part. And that mistake was I was going to do the drifting challenge first, because that's for one step, do the drifting challenge. But I thought, okay, I can see that there's a wet weather challenge around the Nürburgring. This isn't going to be amazing. So I thought I'll do a couple of practice laps. Just go in, do it on test drive mode, just try and get a lay of the track a little bit. So I went in. This is after I'd already set the car up and set everything up for the first event, which is a drift mode. So naturally, on the drift mode, you don't want your stability, your traction, your friction, or any of that stuff turned on. It helps a lot more if you've got that stuff turned off, gives you more freedom of movement. So I thought, well, I'll give it a quick test. It doesn't really matter too much, because I'm going back into drift mode after this. So I go around, do a couple of laps and go around the track. Generally it was a bit pointless because I'm still driving like a noob on this one, still sliding off, still not really sort of handling it. But when I decided that's enough, I know roughly how the track sits, because I don't normally play the GP circuit, it's normally the Nordscliffe, but I just didn't fancy the half-hour race on the one challenge. So I went back into the Forzathon screen, and it turns out he'd actually give me credit for doing this challenge in test drive mode. Well, okay, what should I do? Should I just carry on, gloss over it and just pretend it hasn't happened? Because obviously I'm not streaming at this point, and I haven't actually recorded anything to the game DVR. I thought, nah, what I'll do is I'll go back and do it again. So I go back and I do it again, and this is what you're watching, and this is on a live race, this isn't on test drive or anything like this. So I went back, did it again, and slid everywhere. And of course I'd forgotten to change the settings back to normal. So I thought, you know what, let's run with it. Let's see how I get on. I always fancy a challenge, even if it ends up with me looking like a noob. So I thought, let's have a challenge on top of Nürburgring, in the rain, in a Viper, which admittedly was probably a better car to choose than the Viper, but I quite like the Viper. I thought, no, what I'll do is I'll keep all these modes turned off, try and give a little bit of simulation racing, steering set to normal, and it's probably just as well that damage control is set to cosmetic rather than simulation, otherwise I'd have trashed the car several times over by now.
10 years later.
So this is a stream. Went live on midnight. It's not too bad. Generally fighting tiredness. There was one bit, which I think might have been that one, where I was playing and the cat decides it's going to jump out of the living room window, bounce across the sofa, over me, and run off into the kitchen. Needless to say, that gave me a bit of a jump, and I did hit a wall, but that's that race out of the way. Be fair, it's an absolute nightmare. There's no pop-ups on this one, pretty much because, as I've said before, it's something which I seem to have achieved on the test drive mode. So I thought, nah, let's just redo it. Let's just go on. That's my first place there, and now getting my rewards, 17,000 for mods. These ideal conditions mods are pretty decent, but I don't really tend to race in the rain, so I don't really have much use for them. But if this came up, I thought, why not? No extra challenge from what I'm already doing, so let's add them on, and 12,000 credits later. Moving on. Complete a race at Maple Valley. So let's complete a race at Maple Valley in the rain. So go through. Well, I can remember which way the alphabet runs at this time of night. So Maple Valley, short circuit, 1 lap in the rain, and I think I'll change my car. I do like the Viper, but it is a little bit on the slidey side. Although I probably shouldn't expect anything more from a Viper, considering it is a Viper. It's a massively souped up muscle car. Having a look through. Should I pick something comical or should I pick something a bit more sensible? I think I might go for the Jaguar F-Pace. There's very nice 4x4s. They are known for their excellent handling. So let's see how this runs around Maple Valley in the rain. And I'm off. It's not doing too badly. Let's see how it takes the first corner. Slowly, it's going around okay. You know what, I think I should have picked this car for the Nürburgring. As soon as I started playing with it, I thought, you know, as much as I love the Viper, it probably isn't the most suitable vehicle for this challenge. This is handling nicely. Got slightly off-road, but it is a 4x4. It can handle it. There's one thing I've noticed about the rain on Forza 7. If any of you guys have played the demo, and if you haven't, it's still in the store, go back, have a look. The rain on the final version of Forza 7, as good as it looks, isn't amazing. You compare this to the demo on Forza 7 and the rain on the demo is far superior. If you do look at the demo, go in, look at the races, pick the Nissan Nismo and do that race. The rain is absolutely brilliant. It's detailed, it's a lot heavier, it's brilliant. They seem to have toned it back quite a lot for the purposes of the final version, which is a shame really, because that was really cool in the demo. I do have a demo playthrough link on this channel, which I'll stick a link to, but if you want to have a look for yourself, it is still in the game store. Moving on. Win a race at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit in the rain. Okay, so Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit in the rain. It's not too bad. What I might do is put it on a timed race. 30 seconds should do the job, because I'm sure you're sick and tired of me sliding around and not being very good in the rain with pretty much all the assists turned off. Vehicle wise, I'm after something Grand Prix based, I think. It's a Grand Prix circuit, let's grab a Grand Prix car. Just deciding whether it's going to be one of the 70s cars and 90s cars, or something a bit more modern. I end up deciding to take the Renault out. The Formula 1 Grand Prix car, 2018 edition. Pretty much pure power, over 1,000 horsepower. Going into race setup, I've realised I haven't actually set any challenges because it's win a race. I don't know if it will actually take it if I don't put any opponents in, if I don't put any drive tires in. But we shall see, I guess. So what I have to do with this is go out of free play, because once you choose no driver tires, it doesn't seem to like letting you select driver tires after that, so you have to go out of free play back into free play. Everything else should be saved, so you pick how many driver tires you want. I just want one on this one. 30-second, one opponent, gets the job done. I'm going for pretty much pure speed here. I'm likely to be up against another Formula GP car, so it's not as if I'm going to have any competitive advantage. It's just a case of get your foot down and rock and roll. So over the line and foot down. Ooh, a little bit of dirty driving on the track there, but that's never bothered me. The big factor here is just to floor it. Just get your foot down, get a bit of distance. There's no way you're going to be able to stay on the track in the rain like this. This Brands Hatch is pretty bendy, and this Formula 1 car has got loads of power, so you take off like a rocket. But 30-second race, as long as I stay ahead, job done. Pop-up appears saying I've made progress in grey days, and of course being the final race of this challenge, I've completed grey days. Off to the podium, first place, still got the Letterman jacket on. The Spa Day driver gear from last week was quite frankly horrendous. Looked absolutely disgusting. So moving through, I can get back to the Forzathon menu. These loading screens do take a while because I swear the Xbox is getting slower and slower on this game. But I get my pop-up. I have won a 1998 Subaru Impreza 228 STI Forza Edition. I might take that out for a spin later. Next challenge, warming the tyres. For this challenge I have to obtain a drift score of 7,000 in a single lap on any drift event. So back to my tried and tested drift location, to Circuit de Spa-de-Francorchamps. Not be taking the F1 car out. I'm going to go back to my tried and tested Ford Mustang. Apparently it's one of the easiest cars to learn to drift in, which for purposes of myself is exactly what I need. I did do a practice lap around here earlier and got a score of around 15,000, which isn't too bad. So definitely 7,000 is attainable. I'm having to record this in a separate room today for two reasons really. Firstly, my computer sounds a bit loud because I'm actually encoding some other videos and my fans are spinning and I can't dial them down while I do the audio recording. And secondly, both my sons are up, they're awake. My eldest is currently having a rage on Fortnite. He's almost completed the high stakes challenge and struggling just with obtaining a last dual pickup. So he's having a bit of a rage considering it's switched to duos mode now away from squads. He seems to be teamed up with noobs. He seems to get people in his duo who the second they land die. You know what I mean? The people who play Fortnite, because there are people who play Forza and play Fortnite, we're not playing exclusive clubs here, and there are people who drop down on tilted towers, end up in the middle of a skirmish and die within about 10 seconds of hitting the ground. He seems to be finding all of these, so he's having a bit of a naggy. So that's the other reason I've moved into a different room. The last thing you want is my 10-year-old son shouting hacker all the time in the background. What this does mean is that you may hear cars or vehicles going by even though this is being recorded at 8 o'clock in the morning. You do have a few vehicles going around. Looking back, what I'm actually doing on screen, I'm doing the drifts. I'm not managing to pull off too many big drifts. In the past I've done this, I've managed to pull off 1,500 and 2,000 point drifts quite easily. I seem to be doing lots of 700 or 800 point drifts, but that's something I've seen a lot of people do on the multiplayer event when I did this the other week. A lot of people do seem to be concentrating on doing lots of little ones and accruing their points that way, rather than doing big show-off drifts on the corners. So I'm probably not doing anything wrong. It's just not as showy as it might be. But I set this on a 7-minute timer because I can normally do this lap in about 6 on a drift mode. So I thought, okay, put it to about 7 minutes. Gives me a little bit of leeway, but it doesn't mean I'm driving around pointlessly afterwards for very long. My voice is going a bit today, partly because I haven't long got up, and partly because I have still got a bit of that cold I had last week. But if you like my videos, hit that like button, hit subscribe to keep up to date with what I'm doing, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about what I'm doing, what do you think about my videos. Do you like this idea of having a Friday live stream and then having a Monday upload onto YouTube with commentary? Because at the moment a live commentary is not possible on Mixer because I haven't got a mic set up. But what do you guys think of this? Is this cool? Is this a good idea? Do you like to sort of see a sneak peek on this? Or would you rather say, I don't really care about the streaming side of it. You know, I sit on YouTube, I like YouTube. I just want to watch videos. I am looking into setting my computer up to stream directly to YouTube in the next few weeks, rather than going over to Mixer. What do you guys think about? So what do you guys think about that? What do you think the forward direction should be? Should I try YouTube next week? Give Mixer a skip? Because I suppose I could do both technically, because the way you do YouTube is through a bypass system on the PC. but I don't know if I can stream to Mixer and stream to my PC at the same time. Knowing the way that Microsoft works, probably not. As much as I do love my Xbox, Microsoft are very restrictive in what you can do, particularly around streaming, particularly around your game recording, so I'll have to have a look at it. A couple of pop-ups there. I've made progress and I've completed the challenge, which is brilliant. 4,000 credits, 4,500 credits, not bad. Not that I'm short of credits on Forza these days. Little nip around on my XP, almost there to a driver reward. Now I don't want to burn these Alps, I want to go into the Forzathon screen and see what's next. On these Forzathon screens you can actually tab up. I only found this out yesterday. Well, I only found this out when I recorded this. You can actually tab up and see next challenges. I've received my cop driver gear, 4 wheels or 2 wheels, it's all the same, so I might have a look at that later, might put that on for a later race. So I'm looking at setting the times, so that'll be back to a normal circuit race, 1 lap, and have a look. For this challenger course I need to complete a race at the Mugello circuit where I've hit 150 mile an hour. Okay, what should I go for car wise? Should I go back to a Renault because that's normally a safe bet? Should I have a look at a Ferrari or maybe one of the Jaguars, or should I have a look at the Koenigsegg? I haven't had a blast in the 1-to-1 recently. This is seriously overpowered. I've added a tune to this so it actually does break the racing rules. It does break the racing class requirements, so I can't really race it in any class race, but I've done all my driver championships, and you may have noticed that was not the Mugello circuit, that was the Bernese Alps. So I've had to go back in, I've had to change it all back. Remember, hit subscribe if you like what I'm doing. I've had to go in, I've had to change it back, I've had to put it back to Mugello. Looking at the straight I should be okay, however where the start and finish line is may cause me a problem, but I've got a car which is quick enough, so it should do this without too many worries. I just have to be a bit more mindful because I've not got ABS turned on, so my braking system is still a little more temperamental. 125, got up to 127 there before I have to slow down, otherwise I'll be in the hedge. I suppose I could have just absolutely hammered it and ended up in the tyre wall, but I thought no, let's try and be sensible, let's see what I can do. Is this going to come back and bite me in the bum? Because that is my main straight, everything else is quite curvy, there's quite a lot of turns. I'm actually starting to get a bit worried at this point because I'm not really getting up to the speed I need to. But there is a little bit of a straight after a corner, so if I can absolutely hammer it round here, I should be in with a chance. Okay, 34 mile an hour. Let's see if I can hit 150 before I go over the line. Over the line, 157. It's not as spectacular as it could be, but it's done my job. I'm over the line, 157 mile an hour, and it's definitely that start line, finish line placement which slowed me down a bit, but I've done my challenge, I've made progress, and once I pick up the rewards, I need to go back into the Forzathon screen and have a look what the second challenge is for this. Just got to skip through the preloading screens for the next races because I'm not interested in those. I'll be picking something else. So into the Forzathon screen and complete 3 laps at the Sonoma Raceway in a Track Toys division car. Okay, so off up on the menu to Sonoma. Let's do a short circuit just for fun, just so I make sure I get the correct cars. Set the car division up to Track Toys, so it'll be a circuit race, 1 lap round Sonoma in a track toy. I've got a few. I know which one I prefer, but I'm not sure if to go and pick something a little different. Normally I tend to pick the KTM, but let's see what we've got. Is there anything particular I fancy out of this, or should I just be boring and pick the KTM? Lotus have a few. What have they got? Okay, you've got the 340R, which I'm not taking round. That car is absolutely mental. That is absolutely crazy. There's absolutely no control in it whatsoever. Admittedly, I've tuned it, so that's probably why. So, KTM it is. Tried, tested, I know what I'm getting. So pulling onto a track, this is actually in the daytime, but it does look pretty overcast. Looks like it might rain, but obviously it won't. So I've got to do 3 laps of Sonoma in a track toy. Okay. So I'm getting through these challenges pretty quickly. This will be the last one for this week. The September monthly challenges are out and I have done them. And I will be uploading a video for that, if not in the next couple of days, well, slightly later in the week. A slight skid off the track, but nothing too much to worry about. Yes, it does look like it's going to rain on here, but I know it won't because I've not picked rain. It's picked daytime. This is Sonoma Raceway in Track Toys division car, which isn't too bad. It's one of those races which is pretty straightforward. I tend to show off a little bit, little drift on the corner. So into a tyre wall, not too impressed with that, but I'm tired, it's getting late, and this is the last challenge of the day. For next week, what do you guys want me to do with this? Do you want me to keep doing my live streams? Do you want me to keep streaming to Mixer and then do this video for the Monday. I'll always do this video for a Monday because that's my schedule. YouTube is still my primary channel. Even if I'm stream out elsewhere in the meantime, YouTube is my primary channel, and that's where my content will always go. So don't worry about that. It's not as if you guys will miss it if you're not interested in streaming or anything. But what do you think I should do? Should I stream out to Mixer, stick it up on YouTube on the Monday? Do you want me to have a look through the settings on Streamlabs and on the Xbox and see if I can get this streamed to YouTube for next week? Because the way it works on the Xbox is you can't stream directly. You have to stream your screen from the PC, which means I have to stream my Xbox to my PC and have my Xbox app on Windows 10 at full screen, and that'll be going out to Mixer. So my Xbox app is the game I'm streaming technically, but it's a bit of an odd situation, but that's the way Microsoft work. Stream to Mixer without too many problems. You can stream to Twitch without too many problems, but of course you can't get your overlays on or anything like this, so it's a bit basic. So leave me a comment. What do you think? Bit of a newbie start to this today though, with the races in the rain. Like I said, partly because I'm tired and partly because I'll do the stupid thing and leave all the assists turned off. Hey, I got through it. The September races will be going up in the next week, mainly because I have recorded them. I have got a video, I just need to find time to sit down where it's relatively quiet and actually do a recording for a voiceover. I was originally planning to tag them onto this video, but it turns out they're actually an hour long. So what you'll end up with is a 2-hour video. And I think it's easier, I think it's a lot easier to have a look at these races in 2 separate sections. Have a look at one section, i.e. one video for monthly races, and have another video showing the weekly races. It's a lot more digestible, a lot more manageable, and certainly doesn't do any harm to my encoding queue. So that's across the line on that one. The pop-up appears. I have made progress in setting times, and I've completed setting times, so that's my 1-step, my 2-step and my 3-step challenges for the week complete. Winner's Circle at Sonoma Raceway. You may notice slight lags in the video when the screens change. This is actually on the Xbox, this isn't my encode. This was on the Xbox. I've got my XP, and I've decided to go for a cash. I usually do go for a cash unless something more appealing is on offer. On my last one, it was a Land Rover or a Range Rover, whatever it was, and I've already got plenty of those. 50,000 credits is far better. Into a Forzathon screen and 60,000 credits. So that's what I received, 60,000 credits for completing that challenge. All that's left is a September VIP challenge and the Car Pass challenge. Unfortunately, I can't do those because I'm not a Forza VIP. Shocking, I know, but I'm not a Forza VIP, and I have not got the Car Pass, so I can't do those. If in future I decide to join, I'll do them, otherwise not. Next week we're looking at moving up, Racer's Delight and Clean Sweep.
Ten years later.
So these are the challenges for this week done. Setting times, warming the tyres and grey days. Your 1 step, your 2 step and your 3 step. Or actually it's a 2 step, or 1 step and the 3 step. So I've got the credits, I've got the driver gear and I've got the Scooby Impreza. Brilliant. So what I would normally do here is have a look at the driver gear, see what we've got. I think it's over in pop culture for this one today. There you go, the badge that says new. That's for cop driver gear. Looking funky. Having a look in my garage. Let's have a look at this Scooby, because despite the time, despite being tired, I might actually take this out for a spin. I might take it around the Nürburgring, give it a blast and see how it goes. Okay, 25% credits with an additional 25% credits for driving in the wet. It's not bad, but I'm not going to drive this in the wet. I'm going to do this in the dry, nice and sane, nice and safe. Although I still haven't been on and set my assists back to how I like them. So this will still be going around with no traction control, no stability, no friction, no ABS. What will happen, I'm not entirely sure, but 1 lap of a Nürburgring, probably coming in somewhere around 10 minutes. So I don't expect you guys to hang around and watch this unless you really want to. So what I'll do is I'll say thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, happy gaming, and if you like what I'm doing, hit that like button, hit subscribe to keep up to date with my videos. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Do you like the streaming idea? Do you like to see this slightly ahead? Would you want me to try streaming to YouTube for this week's Forzathon challenges? Do you want me to say forget the streaming, I don't care, just keep doing your videos? You tell me. This is what helps my channel grow. This is what I want to know. This is it. What do you guys want to see? Leave me a comment. Don't be too harsh on me when it comes to the noob driving in the rain. Oh, actually, I don't care. I suck at racing games. I'm an arcade kid. I absolutely suck at simulation games. This is why I don't play things like F1. And I've tried F1, I've played it. I used to play F1 back on the Mega Drive back in the day, but I've played the last 2 F1 games on Game Pass this year, and even driving as Lewis Hamilton, I absolutely suck. Simulation games are not my thing, far too many rules. There's times you can be playing them, you can be racing around, somebody crashes into you, then you get penalised for being in a crash. That's absolutely crazy. So when I have played these games, 9 times out of 10, I've ended up being disqualified. So apparently cutting corners, cutting people up and having people crash into you is generally frowned upon. All credit to you guys who do play these simulation games, but it's not my thing really. I don't really get into the simulation, into the technical side of things, and quite frankly, if you can't spin something sideways around the corner, where's the fun? That's my opinion. I'm sure you guys differ, but yes, that's why I don't tend to play simulation games or simulation modes, is because I end up getting disqualified otherwise, so I just don't bother. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching, take it easy, and happy gaming. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You don't win a prize, but congratulations. You've made it to the end of my hot lap around the Nürburgring. Can't remember offhand what time this comes in at, but I think it's somewhere around 10 minutes. So you've sat down and you've sat through an hour's video. Give yourself a big pat on the back. You deserve it. All those people who cut off early, we wouldn't hear that. This is for you guys. These are the people who've got the staying power, the people who've got the madness enough to actually stay and watch this for an hour. Well done. To everybody else skipping ahead, naughty naughty. But as I said before, if you want to skip this lap, by all means, you watched enough of me racing around in a circle. So take it easy guys, happy gaming, and see you next time.